and Major Hector Quintanilla is now the chief of Project Blue Book. Major Quintanilla, what are the objectives of Project Blue Book?
As I'm standing there, I kind of, it's a very hard feeling to describe. Skinny arms, skinny legs, but I could only see about half of this thing.
It was just an eye-opening experience. There was a ship coming over the house.
It was like a white light sort of thing that we saw. It was coming out of a cloud.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Don Ledesma. Hold on, I want to turn up my headphones here. How y'all doing today? Well, it's been a long time coming here. I've been just kind of doing stuff and busy. But if you guys are new to ufology, welcome to ufology and welcome to Alien Strand Podcast. Yeah, because I'm going to be showing you a lot of good stuff today. I'll be showing you some videos, new videos that just came in. I'll be showing you some audio as well. And a couple of strange things have been happening up in the sky lately. I don't know what it is, but there's just been some crazy stuff, man. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain sometimes, but we see so much CGI and all kinds of stuff on the Alien Strand that we always try to figure out. All right, well, is that CGI? Is it not? I don't know. Well, anyway, before that, just kind of welcome everybody to Alien Strand Podcast. And, we're listening to audio. We're recording live for the audio podcast. So if you're listening, thank you guys. We're live on Spreaker. Well, not live anymore, but it's pre-recorded. So, hey, go to Spreaker, go to iHeartRadio, go to all those good ones, Spotify, Google, CastBox. You can even ask Alexa, play some Alien Strand Podcast. Hey, just say, hey, play some Alien Strand Podcast. It'll come up. That's just the way it is. She kind of likes me. I think she likes me. No, she likes the show, man, because without you guys, I couldn't do it. And that's just the way it is. It's we have such a great time doing it. Who's out there? Let's see. Pretty well. Yeah, thank you. All right. Who's out there? Let's see. Sidney Jones. All right. Hey, man, thank you for watching today. It's just been a crazy week, man, a crazy weekend. A lot of just aliens and I go through my feeds a lot, right? And I watch a lot of people's videos, photos, and all that good stuff, right? But just before I get going a little further, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm on another podcast that I do have. I'm a co-host for this podcast called the Awakening Frequency Podcast. All right, we're gonna have another one, I believe, tonight. All right, we deep dive, we do some conspiracy stuff. We do a lot of FBI, CIA, all the stuff that's in the background. Project Stargate. That's what we're gonna be working on the next one. So go look for that on audio and video as well. We're here on Rumble. If you're here watching on Rumble, give me a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Give me some hearts, man, because that's what it's about. So I don't know if you guys have been watching a lot of the extraterrestrials, UFOs, things that are coming out there, right? Today we're gonna dive deep a little bit. We're gonna talk about how the extraterrestrials, the abductions happen, and how they come across people a little bit closer than we actually think they do. Because they've been coming really close to folks, man. And I bring this gentleman up a lot. The only reason why is because he gets visited a lot. Right. And I always talk about Juanito Juan. A lot of people's like, oh, well, he might be real. He might not be real. I don't know. You know what? I think the guy's really real. And I think he's having really close proximity interactions with an extraterrestrial. Right. And we always try to figure out, right, is it true or is not? But he's got so much proof of it. It's unbelievable. So I grabbed a snapshot, right? I grabbed a snapshot of the extraterrestrial that he caught. And this was like in the middle of the night. He said, no, he was outside barbecuing, and he always leaves his camera on in the living room area, right? And he left the camera on, and it picks up sensitivity, like those cameras, how everybody has now these days. And it ended up picking something up in his living room, right? And it was like a light that went across. But at the same time, when he caught the light, it actually caught an image of an extraterrestrial, right? And that's this image right there. Let me take my face off so you don't see me in the background. But that's it right there, right? And this is what it's pointing at. The arrow you're looking at is his doorway coming inside. So you're looking at this. It's during the day, right? This is in the evening, the afternoon. There's still some light shining outside. And I'm going to show you the video of this, right? Because this is crazy how, the actual entity kind of brought itself to light in the actual video itself, right? So let me give you the video of it, so that way you can get a little bit better logistics of what I'm talking about here. And it's just crazy. It's a crazy video. Let me see if we find it here. Here it is, right here. Okay, so this is the video, and check this out. This was caught in his living room, by the way. So you're seeing this light, and is pointing directly at it. You can see his keyboard there of his or his table actually, and you hear a little bit of noise there. And then you see this extraterrestrial kind of duck down a little bit, right? So here comes there it is, right there. Bam! Look at how huge that head is. Look at that. And there's times where this entity, whatever it is, manifests itself in a more in a form to where you can see right through it, right? And right there, it's just plain over and over. So you're actually seeing what it did. And he said the lights were kind of flickering on and off. That's what brought his attention, and he came inside and he looked at the video. And that's what he got out of the video. So Lucidity Jones says it's happening allegedly. I guess it's hard to know how much actual or disinformation we're getting. Hey, you never know, right? And it says, I want to believe. So do I. I want to believe. Mr. Paul Wellborn's out there in the UK. Hey, thank you for watching, my brother. He's saying, hi, guys. It's the video you just saw is what he was bringing to life, right? To light, really, in reality. No pun intended. But what I did was I broke it down just a little bit further, and I was able to kind of zoom in, because I do that with my camera on my phone, right? Everybody can do this, by the way. So this is what I broke down a little bit, right? So I start kind of zooming into it, and then I play it back and forth as the head pops up behind the couch, right? Now, we've seen it to where Is it somebody in a mask with a hoodie on, and with the black figure in the background? I don't know, man, because we've seen some really great evidence of UFOs above his house. Um, he actually had a conversation. He says it in Spanish, by the way, but that's all he speaks, of course. But he had a conversation. He said he can hear it talking to him telepathically, and he starts asking it a bunch of questions, about why are they here, where are they from, and they're telling they're from a different star system. They're here not to hurt him or to hurt anybody. They just want to see what's going on, right? They're getting the plants. Remember when I talked about the plants that they were taking off of his porch or the back area where they were he was seeing them around the plant area, right around his house, on a couple of podcasts prior to this one, right? If you guys saw that. So and I was just trying to put the evidence together on that, on how that entity is out there, and it kind of stalks him in a sense, right? It stalks him a little bit because it's always interacting with him, but he was able to actually interact with it while this sphere, he just recently got a hold of a sphere that fell into his yard, that silver ball sphere. He actually has it, and he took a picture of it in his living room, and then he was shooting a video of it, and in the glare of the sphere, because you could see a little bit of glare on it. It's not real shiny, it's a little dull, but you can actually see the extraterrestrial image inside of that sphere, and it freaked the hell out of him. He actually dropped the ball when he saw that, right? And that was the strange part about that visitation that he has, right? And he gets this weekly, I mean almost daily, over there in Mexico, right? And I'm trying to remember where he's living. I think it's Jalisco, Mexico, somewhere around there. So and he gets this visitation all the time. He's always going to the Titocan pyramids. He's always videotaping those areas, and he's always, showing people that these things do exist. And this is exactly what we're doing here today. I'm showing you that these things do exist, right? We've seen the pictures from Turkey, right? This is from that craft that they shot in the 1980s, I believe, or 1990s, of that video of that craft. Now, it's just one of those things that they were able to zoom in, and then lo and behold, bam, you're seeing these little ETs in there. Look how they look. They all look the same way, right? And I express it more and more and more and more every day, because I want you guys to know that what I'm feeding you here is not bull crap, right? It's the real deal. And I always try to show the evidence, and not just of the extraterrestrial. I want people to see the extraterrestrial, but I want people to see the actual contact as well, right? And we always talk about my friend Mr. Ryan Keaton, and he lives over there in San Antonio, Texas, right? Of course, we shot the video, the middle part 2 over there, right? And we were able to get a lot of great footage, even live footage of these UFO crafts, orbs that were flying above his home. And there's the poster, the older poster, but it's crazy with the stuff that he's getting now. They're starting to get closer and closer and closer to his home. So he sent me this video the other night, and I'm going to play it for you here. I don't think it has audio, but check this out. So this orb craft keeps coming closer and closer to his home. And he sent it to me, but it was a lot brighter. I darkened it a little bit. I added a little bit of contrast. And just to give you the information, especially when you're starting to do analysis like we do in Alien Strand Disclosure Project. There's no I in team. We're all work together. But as Alien Strand Disclosure Project, we all do analysis. And this is the part of the analysis that we do, right? We kind of darken things up. And sometimes it's best to do that in order to find what you're looking for, right? So when we're doing that, we're able to get a greater data information on exactly what we're looking at. Now, is this sphere has so much energy that you're able to see it on camera, of course. And then when you break it down into analysis, you're able to see it a little bit more, right? And so, yeah, why not try to break it down a little bit more? So I did. So I put it down into a gold. I always use the gold because the gold don't lie, right? And if you don't have it, download V2 Art. They're not paying me for this, but it's called V2 Art, V like a V, and number 2, art, like artistic. All right. So V2 art, and you're able to break these videos down just like I did right here. Same orb, and I just wanted to show how much energy that's coming out of this extraterrestrial. That's the EMF, the electronic magnetic field that's coming off of it. Check it out. It's amazing. It's amazing. Look at it. Artie Jones says, I wonder that they're truly malicious. Maybe. Creepy looking things, the grays. Yes, they are. You know, we have a live feed coming up here on this podcast where I'm reading out to what people are saying out there. And it's kind of spooky, right? But I showed you the gold because the gold is what brings out the electronic magnetic field a little bit better. And you know that something is there instead of like AI or CGI, right? CGI wouldn't show this. 9 times out of 10 on the gold, CGI won't show. It'll just be like a straight, barely able to pull it through. That's how I know this is a real craft. Of course, we saw it ourselves. With Mr. Ryan Keaton, you know, and me and Jacob, my son, we witnessed this, you know, firsthand. And the craziness of that is that once you witness something like this, and it wasn't my first rodeo, it was my son's first rodeo, but it just freaks you out every time you see something like that, right? And you just can't explain what these things are, right? 9 times out of 10, you can't. And with Ryan Keaton, he has a connection with the aliens and people. What's the connection? He is the connection. He is the frequency that they're attached to, like an antenna, like I talk about. That's what the connection is. When you're constantly making contact with these orbs, UFOs, they're constantly coming around you without lasers or without CE5 protocols, right? If you're not doing CE5 protocols, they just show up. They know who you are. They know, you know, what you're about, and they've probably visited you a time or two, right? And without you even knowing it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this. Bam. That's what happens, you know, sometimes they're interdimensionally, right? Sort of like ghosts that they can manifest themselves in the background the same way as ghosts do, right? I think that they can kind of walk within the same realm. My understanding with the military complex, they say that these things can walk into 9 different dimensions. Of course, we're only in the 3rd one. That's it. But they can go past that, right? And why not tap into you when you're asleep, or abduct you, or fix you, or just take pieces of you, right? When you're asleep. Does it happen? Yeah, it happened to me once, right? So it's just a crazy thing that can happen to people. Now, the contact is not always going to be the same contact that we're seeing with each other as far as like face-to-face contact, right? We're going to see something different as far as that is concerned. So there's a story here that I saw, and it's an older story, but I love the older stories because you're able to pick up the connection between people and ETs, right? And it's a great story, by the way. So I'm gonna put it up here on the screen so you guys can see it real quick. All right. Bam. I'm gonna take myself off. So I found this on Twitter, right? Or X, whatever you want to call it now. So it says most people have never heard of this one. Weirdest, most underrated UFO encounter of the 20th century. In 1972, carrier incident from the quiet town of Koishi in Japan, a pure high strangeness, a group of schoolboys stumbled upon a small metallic object in the woods, perfectly round, about the size of a cooking pot, right? And it says that the strangeness about that is that, you know, it was just sitting there. It says naturally. They did what kids do. They picked it up, took it home. Then that's when weird stuff started happening, right? So it says the boys kept the object. It says kept the object in their school lockers, examining it over several days. It had no seams, no visible openings, but felt oddly heavy for its size. It was denser than it should be. One night they returned they returned it to where they found it. Bam, it was back to the original location, right? They tried to capture it again, and this time it emitted a blue flash and shot upwards. One boy was knocked unconscious, and then the other one, the object, began like cat and mouse game. In other words, it was kind of chasing them back and forth, appearing and disappearing as it was out of reach. It says it just wasn't flying; it was toying with them, right? So, what are these things, right? And that's the crazy part about that whole story. That it's these orbs or UFOs sometimes land in different parts, different places, and I'm trying to get myself up. They just land in different places to where we always try to wonder, man, I wonder if I can ever see one or catch up to one, right? And fortunately, these boys did. And when they did do that, they just were able to have it for a few days, and then of course it shot out a bunch of energy and all kinds of good things that came from it, right? And they just said it was a controlled phenomenon that happened with that object, but later it took off and it disappeared, right? So they were able to hold on to that just for a short amount of time, and were able to kind of toy with it, right? Wouldn't that be so cool, right? Another to grab something like this and have it in your hand. Look how small it was. It wasn't even real huge. It was small. So it's that story is well documented, right? Of that orb or whatever it was, that craft. Now I talked about Juanito Juan. Now he has one of these things recently that just landed in his yard. I just saw the video of it, and he was able to grab it and bring it inside, right? So that is a strange thing. Now, with that said, I'm going to show you this video that was here in April that just happened in Colombia of an orb that fell out of the sky, and somebody was able to capture it. Check this out. Check out this video. Here we go. So he's pointing the camera at the sky. You see these orbs start coming down close to the ground. He's following it with the camera. It's probably about 100 feet above the ground. For the people in audio land, it's just a round orb going across the sky. And this was in Colombia. So he continues to follow this orb as it's shooting across the little town there, and he's noticing that it has some sort of a control to it, right? And then it swings back like a zip. It zips back. If you're watching this, it's just an amazing video that was recently shot. Now, wait till you see the end of this video. That's the thing, there he comes. The orb's coming towards him like it knows it's watching. Then it comes straight down and lands in the grass right there in front of him. Bam, there it is. Yeah. Now, are we seeing more and more of these things as they're coming towards us, right? They're starting to interact a little bit more with these spheres. Now, I don't know what these spheres are. I've tried to wrap my mind around what they are, but these people seem to have them. There's this gentleman that's had one for over 40 years, right? And it still continues to move and interact. It doesn't fly away or nothing. It just stays there. And it does emit some sort of energy. Now, in that sense, that what you just saw was just amazing footage of these orbs and how they interact, and how he was able to follow it. But at the same time, he was able to know that it's being controlled of somewhat. Now let's talk about the pilots that are inside these things. There's something inside of this thing, whether it's tiny Small 3-foot. We've heard of the stories of the 2-footers, 3-footers. This recent picture just showed up here. It's another one, almost like that other photo of the woman that took it on her porch of an extraterrestrial. She caught through the window. But this is a different one. And it looks like the same creature, right? But this time in this one, it's holding something in its hands. So why not these things flying around in these little orbs? Maybe. Of course, just checking exactly what we're doing. And I'm sure there's different types, like Mr. Skinny Bob here, and they go around just trying to figure out what we're doing. And like I talked about before, we're the zoo. We're the animals. They're just the spectators. They're watching us. They're testing us, putting probes on us, following us everywhere, just like we do the animals, the same way, right? We do the same thing to whales. We do the same thing to sharks, turtles. We monitor them. They do the same thing to us. Exact same thing, right? We're just something for them to study in the sense of that. And I'm going to show you another video here that we didn't really get to see very well. There was a video at an airport in 2019, right? I believe it was in a Chicago O'Hare airport. We talked about it. People talked about that video, but we never really saw the whole thing, right? So I was able to grab the video, and it pretty much shows it in the O'Hare airport as it's hovering over the actual the landing field, right? Where the planes land. It's hovering right there. And somebody's actually shooting the video from it. So check this out. It's just hovering in the late afternoon, about 150 feet above the ground. Real close. And bam, it's gone. You see that? How it just zipped away. Isn't that cool or what, man? It's crazy how they're not afraid to be seen. And that was in 2019, right? People talked about it, and I wasn't able to see the whole video until I grabbed it the other day. And I was like, wow. I said, you know what? People in Alien Strand podcast, they got to see that. They got to see that because it defies the laws of physics, man. Really reality as it's floating there, hovering for what, a minute and a half or so, and then it just shoots off, takes off at the very end, like it knows it was being watched. And this is at an airport, late afternoon, when the sun is going down, and you see this thing just hovering there. That is the crazy part. Mr. Don Rogers, what's going on, brother? Thank you for watching, my brother. I appreciate you. He's got an amazing podcast, too. Go check him out, the After Dark podcast. They're on YouTube. And it's what I'm talking about here is the extraterrestrials and how they interact with us and how they know we're watching most of the time, right? And, of course, sometimes we get a little too close for comfort to where it kind of scares the crap out of you. To where you might just be in this situation, or you've been in that situation, you just don't know it, to where you're getting abducted as you're standing outside, could be at midnight, 1-2 o'clock in the morning. You don't know what happens to you. They just come and scoop you up. Like I said before, there is no time. They have no watches. Time doesn't exist for them at all, period. Sometimes they do some really, really awful crap to people. And it's just hard to imagine the stress levels that it does for a human being, whether it's male, female, or anybody. It's horrible, right? And of course, I talk to people every day about their experiences of exactly what it is and why them. That's really the nail in the coffin on that one. Paul Wilbur says they're at O'Hare for some reason. I don't know. They were there that day in 2019 for some reason. Of course, I think we were just starting off on the COVID, so that's when it really hit pretty hard. I guess, I don't know, maybe they figured nobody was going to be there. But yeah, somebody was there, right? And speaking of abduction, right? We know what that is. We know what they do. And we know what they do during an abduction, right? To human beings. But what if, and I've talked about this before, and why, this is a great photo right here. People in audio land, it's a photo of a UFO, UAP, whatever you want to call it, has 3 orbs underneath it. Probably about maybe 400 feet in the sky. Now, as we zoom in a little closer to it, let's do that. Kind of hard to tell, a little pixelated, right? But we know there's a craft up there, and it's got these 3 orbs or something that it's pulling underneath. So when we start to zoom in just a little bit more and clarify the image somewhat, guess what? Bam! Merry Christmas. Guess what time it is? Time to get a ribeye, right? So these UFOs, we know what they do. We know they get cattle. They have a cow up in the air in that photo. Believe it or not, that equals that. All right. And there's some certain parts of the cows that they like. It's a certain enzyme, I believe, that's behind the ear. Some sort of a vitamin that they like from it, right? And we've talked about that some humans don't come back either, right? Unfortunately. That's what I was talking about. Be careful for what you wish for, man, because, yeah, come and take me, man. Come take me. No, I don't think so. No, thank you. Yeah, that's not happening. Not in my book, at least not in my book. I like to see him in a distance like this. They can visit, talk to the government, and visit all day and all night long. And speaking of that, Area 51, the government, industrial complex. I got a video here to show you. So somebody shot this with a night vision optics, and they were able to capture something that looks really strange. You tell me what you think you're seeing, right? This is over there in Area 51, around that area, let's just say. So check this out. So in the video, you're seeing in a blue optic that there's something hovering over the ground with some sort of a beam. And then there's like a Jeep or a military vehicle with its flashers coming towards it, right? This is at night, probably maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not a helicopter because it just keeps that beam of light right there. Now, I don't know. You tell me what you're seeing. What do you think that is? You lighten up the image. Now look at it. It's not a helicopter. What is it? What does that look like to you? I don't know. It sure looks like a triangular craft with a beam on the ground. And that's the strangeness of.
How old are you?
Is that ours? You know what I mean? Is that ours? Maybe. Sorry about that. But is that ours? Maybe. I don't know. We know that they're building stuff. They've been building it for a long, long time there. There's a new film going to be coming out with about the Bob Lazar story. I don't know if you've seen the trailers for it. It looks amazing. So it's going to get really detailed in that film about his story about S4 and the crafts that they found inside of there, right? So they're going to get really deeply involved in that film. I hope it comes out great. I really do. I love the documentary that they had about him, and it was just one of those things that you could not pass up watching. You have to see the first one. Of course, it's Mr. Cowbell that's on it, but him and I bumped heads a little bit, and I don't give it a bad name because you know what? He's a filmmaker. It is what it is on that, but sometimes you can't be pushing people around because of who you are, right? I'm gonna put it to you that way. But it's just one of those things, right? Either you're going to give disclosure or you're not, right? Don't feed me no bull crap in between. I'm not talking about him. I'm just talking about people in general out there. They're about disclosure, but you don't see it, right? They just speak it. They speak it all day long, but you don't see nothing, right? And that's what the difference between me, my podcasts, and the other podcasts that I have. We're showing you evidence. We're showing you everything that's in the background that you're not seeing, right? Even real images, right? Like this one of Miss Jody Lynn Brown in Sedona. You see the little extraterrestrial up there. Picture she took at night. You can see two of them. And we break these images down so that way you know that there is an ET up there. There's something driving these things. They just don't fly by themselves, right? So they're probably sending these probes down and these spheres, orbs, whatever you want to call them. And they have an ET, a small one in there. Maybe a little robot one or something that they made just to walk around amongst you when you're asleep. Right? Same way we do with animals. We're just keeping tabs on them, make sure that they're eating well. Where are they at? Where are they going, right? Different parts of the map, GPSing them all over the place. This time of year, they go this way. This time of year, they go that way, right? They know your every move, man. Paul Wellborn, don't get me started on cowbell. Yeah, I know, brother. I know. But I wanted to bring some videos and some new stuff to you, whether it's new or old. But I wanted you guys to see a little bit more evidence as I'm bringing it in every day, right? I have a lot of it on my. I still got a lot more to come of the evidence of more extraterrestrial crafts, more extraterrestrials themselves, aliens, whatever you want to call them, right? I have all the videos and everything of that, and I save everything that I have. I must have a archive of, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 videos by now. The middle part 4 is on pause, by the way. It is on pause just for a little bit. I will be back on editing that film. It's about halfway done, but I'll be getting the rest of that film probably finished by the end of this year. I'll let you know when it's up for release. And that will be the final film of the middle, all right? So if you guys have watched any of them, thank you for watching any of the middle films. It was a hard thing to do, expensive thing to do, but I did it because to show people that there is true disclosure within everyone that's in these films. They're not, nobody's scripted. Everybody's speaking from the heart. Everybody's giving you their real accounts on exactly what happened to them. And in part 4, you're going to see what happened afterwards. All right. 2 more news stories, and then what happens to them after.
Alien Strand Podcast.